to Insight on AllNews Nigeria TV, and as always, I'm your host, Praise Ganiyu. And yes, if you are just joining me for the very first time, Insight is where I talk about any trending issue from any sector. And yes, news and issues happen every day, and a lot has happened during the week. So guys, let's take a look at the trending issue for this week. Liverpool Football Club wins English Premier League for the first time in 30 years. United Nations announces that Nigerians are at risk of hunger starvation as numbers of Nigerians in need of the life-saving assistance has grown to 7.8 million. Alright guys, so if you ask me, trust me, this COVID-19 pandemic actually added to, the rise of people that are at risk of this hunger starvation. But then this is a pandemic. As much as this is also happening in Nigeria, it is also happening in other countries. We have countries whereby they went on, lockdown, and then their government provided for their citizens. But Nigeria here, our federal government talked about palliatives. But I can tell you that no Nigerian can come out to say that, okay, I received amount in my account, which is very bad. And trust me, these numbers are increasing because we have people whereby going out and coming in is what give them money, it's what they feed on, it's how they earn a living. Look at the keke ban and look at the okada ban. There was a ban that was placed on these people, but our federal government could not provide anything or could not provide any measures to help these people, because this is what these people feed on, this is what they do to earn a living. We have fathers and mothers that take care of their children from this job, from this business, but then our government just placed a ban on them, and everybody's just like that. Trust me, how would the numbers of people that are at risk of hunger starvation, how wouldn't it increase? Okay, we know that they have created something like N-Power for undergraduates and graduates, but what of people that they didn't go to school and they do these things to earn a living? Of course the numbers will increase. So I feel the government look for something and do to this issue, because hunger is also a pandemic, and as much as this virus kills, hunger also kills. COVID-19 cases increase in Lagos, Kano and others as numbers hit 25,694. Federal government to reopen schools for graduating students. So guys, you mean schools are opened amidst this pandemic? As read earlier, we have over 25,000 confirmed cases of COVID-19, and schools are still open in this pandemic. Okay, we know that there are conditions given out or to these people, only graduating students can resume back to school. Students in primary 6, GSS3, SS3, they are to resume back to school because of their upcoming examination. But look at what ASU said. ASU, however, cried out that it is suicidal to reopen schools now. The president of the union, Professor Biodun Ogunyemi, kicked against the reopening of schools by the government due to the COVID-19 pandemic currently ravaging the country. Ogunyemi urged the federal government to provide ideal environment and should take the lead by meeting the conditions spelled out by the NCDC before reopening. So guys, wait. So you mean that our federal government actually announced schools to reopen without putting some measures in place? Okay, this is what I talked about the lockdown, about the keke ban and the palliative. You guys, the federal government announced a lockdown without measures put in place, without thinking of how it will affect the citizens and the people. And now schools are also to reopen. Okay, look at it. When there are no measures put in place, there are no, stuff like face masks, and sanitizer, all of these that can help the students. We have schools that have reopened in different countries, like schools in China have also reopened, but then there were measures put in place. These students are always on masks. These students make sure they maintain their social distancing, they have hand sanitizer in various schools and all of that. But our own country, Nigeria, my country, we just reopened, we just announced the reopening of schools without no measures put in place to curb and curtail the spread of this COVID-19. But we don't have much to say. But what we are going to say is that government should please take a look at this thing and should make sure that they find something to do about this issue before these students are back in school. Alright guys, that will be all for today on Insights on AllNews Nigeria TV. Do well to drop your comments about the issues we discussed here, and also like this video, and of course subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also turn on your notification bell to get notifications whenever we drop any other video. See you next week. Bye.